Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've got the return of an old friend to the channel. Well, I say old. Fenners actually is quite a young man. Fenners is an Olympic athlete, no less. I don't know, Fenners might have been competing in the Winter Olympics that have just been, because I think that Fenners' sport is a sort of Winter Olympic sport. I might be wrong about that. But anyway, we're going to be having a look at a puzzle called Blockers, which features a rule set I have never seen before. I think. I might be wrong about that, but these diamonds, basically, if whatever that digit is, it wouldn't be allowed to appear on any line that wasn't purple, I think is how it works, which is it's a fascinating rule, actually. And apparently this is a brilliant puzzle, and I'm looking forward to having a go at it. I've actually not been doing as much solving as usual over the last 3 or 4 days. I've been away, and some of you may have noticed that the videos have been pre-records. I've been down at the President's Putter, which is a golf competition down at Rye for old Oxford and Cambridge golfing blues. It's always an absolute it's a real pleasure. You sort of meet old friends, you make new ones, and even if your golf isn't highly distinguished, and mine wasn't this time, it's still so much fun. So to all those of you who I met down there, thank you for making my time away from puzzles so enjoyable. Now, what else is going on though? Let me just get my head in the game. I'll read the rules to this puzzle obviously in a moment or two, but we're blueprintsing tonight. Mark and I are going to be back in the Blueprints mansion, so we'd love to have your company for that. 10 p.m. UK time. We'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. Over on Patreon, we have got Blobs's Sudoku hunt running, haven't we? Which is it started on the 1st of March. So I haven't refreshed this for a few days. Let's have a look. It says I updated 18 minutes ago. I certainly didn't do that. Let's see where we're up to. So we were at 1,000 solves of puzzle 1, or 1,150, and 147 solves of puzzle 12. Gosh! Wow! Wow, nearly 1,500 solves of puzzle 1, and 459 people have made it through all 12 of the puzzles. And if you finish the 12, even if you don't do the bonuses, that will entitle you or give you a chance of winning the competition, which would mean that you'd come onto the channel, or you could if you wanted to come onto the channel and solve a puzzle. So if that appeals, do get involved. Puzzles are wonderful. Blobs' puzzles just are wonderful, aren't they? So that's over on Patreon right now. I have to apologise. Well, I'm developing some sort of cough at the moment, so I will endeavour greatly not to lose my voice. It would be something of a disaster to be a YouTuber with no voice, but you might have to bear with me. I feel like my voice has gone down a couple of tones in timbre over the last 24 hours. But let me catch up on some birthdays. I've got a whole host of birthdays to catch up on. We'll start off with James. James, your husband George wrote to me well in advance of last Friday, but not in time for me to include your birthday in Friday's video, which I think George was hoping for, because he was travelling back from San Diego to Chicago on Friday, and he thought that a message on the channel might make up for his absence. But James, I hope you had a brilliant birthday. I hope the chocolate cake was exceptionally well iced, of course. Actually, somebody whose birthday I'm not late with is Lorelei. Lorelei, what a lovely name too. Lorelei's turned 3 today. And Lorelei, I know this because your daddy Nick wrote to me and told me that you already love puzzles, especially jigsaw puzzles, and I think you may even have some new bluey puzzles you've been enjoying. Lorelei, I'm so thrilled that you've even heard of Cracking the Cryptic. That is quite incredible. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to your mummy Kelsey, whose birthday it was back in January. I think I'm a bit late with that shout out. But Lorelei, I hope you have a great birthday today, and I hope that the cake, obviously, is splendid. Next, Melissa. Melissa, you turned 20, and I think I'm late with this one. My notes aren't telling me. I'm certain I'm late, actually, because I think I wrote to your friend Alvaro to say I'm afraid I was going to be late with the shout out. But Melissa, I know you've been watching for years, and Alvaro, I think the two of you are over in Brazil, aren't you? Alvaro says many wonderful things about you. He says you're funny, clever, and pretty, and I have to send a kiss to your newest friend, Pitty the Kitty, who apparently is the cutest thing in Brazil. So Melissa, many happy returns. I think it might have been yesterday, but I'm not certain. It was certainly in the last few days. Peter, down there in New Zealand. Peter, get well soon. I was sorry to hear about your injury, but I was delighted to hear you'd accepted my recommendation to read Cloud Atlas, which remains to this day my favourite book of all time. I hope you're still enjoying it. My friend AJ would not approve of you enjoying it. He hates Cloud Atlas, but AJ is a heathen. So anyway, Peter, get well soon. Next, Ryan. Ryan, you turned 11, didn't you? Was it yesterday? My notes here are appalling. It could be today. It's possible. I think I am late. I really do. I think I am late. I think it was yesterday. Ryan turned 11 yesterday. I know this because your mum Rhiannon wrote to me and told me that I think all three of you watch. When I say three of you, your brother Evan as well watches. And Ryan, well, Rhiannon says that you started enjoying maths a bit more due to cracking the cryptic. That's extraordinary if that's true. And Ryan, I can tell you, we do get a lot of emails from people on the channel who might wish birthday, might send their friends and loved ones birthday wishes. I have had very few emails ever that have been as full of love as the one that I got from your mum. It was, she says, you're the kindest soul you could ever meet, and I can tell you, your family is so proud of you, Ryan, with good reason from what I've read. So I gather chocolate cake, whipped cream with lots of icing is on the menu today. Yesterday. And your best friend, who you'd not seen for a year because they've moved overseas, is it Nivesh? Was making a surprise visit too. So I hope you had a wonderful birthday, Ryan. Thank you very much for watching the channel, and thanks to your family too for sending me such a nice email. Next, James, your friend Paul wrote to me and said that I think the two of you often do cracking the cryptic puzzles together on calls. Paul told me, James, that you like cheese and coffee, and therefore those are probably the cakes you prefer. So cheesecake or coffee cake. I can get on board with coffee cake. I can't get on board with cheesecake. I just can't. But James, I was asked to wish you happy birthday from Paul and the gang in Ely. So I hope that makes sense. And then finally, Bokke. Bokke, your friends Joris and Pauline in the Netherlands wanted to wish you happy birthday. They told me that you watch the channel and you've started getting into setting and you're enjoying that. And they seem very proud of you, Bokke. So many happy returns. And I think I'm not late with that one. And I hope you get some cake and it's splendid. That's all the news. So why don't we have a look at trying to do some solving? Let's compete against an Olympic athlete, at least in a mind sport. We're going to have a look at blockers by Fenners. The rules of this one are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Whoops, lost my army. Blockers. Digits in diamonds can never be used on a different clue type than the clue type the diamond lives on. So I think my sort of brief description at the beginning was correct. So imagine this was, 5. If that was a 5, that's on a purple line, and we're going to describe what all the lines mean in a moment. But that would mean that 5 couldn't go in a lot of cells, wouldn't it? any cell that had a different coloured line involved in it, I think would be, so all of these digits couldn't be 5s, I think, is how that works. You see, that seems such a simple rule, doesn't it? But it's amazing it's not been invented yet, if indeed it hasn't. Now, Renban, digits on a purple line form a set of consecutive digits in any order. So imagine this digit was a 1. This would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in some order to be a consecutive set. Dutch whispers. 2 adjacent digits on an orange line must differ by at least 4. So if this was a 1, this would have to be at least a 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 would work. German whispers. All these colours are very pastel, aren't they, today? German whispers. 2 adjacent digits on a green line must differ by at least 5. So if this was a 1, this would have to be at least a 6 then to be sufficiently different. So 6, 7, 8, or 9 would be the options there. And region sum. Box borders, I think that should say, box borders divide blue lines into segments of equal sum. So whatever that cell is, it's the sum of those two cells. That's how region sum lines work. Let me check that the recording looks like it's working. I think we're good to go. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. The first thing that strikes me here is that I'm struck by the amount of heavy lifting that these blocking cells are going to have to do. And I say that just from experience. If you look at the length of the line, oh, actually, I hadn't noticed that. Those 3 are the same digit. Okay, hang on. Because this blue line, it only spends 1 cell in box 6, 1 cell in box 5, 1 cell in box 8. So those 3 digits are all the same. I hadn't seen that, so that might matter. So the grey digit is on the Dutch whisper horseshoe in box 9 by Sudoku. Now we might be able to do better, but anyway, let me complete my thought before I notice that. I was just going to say that these lines are all quite short, and therefore I can tell you without the blockers I would be astonished if this puzzle had a unique solution. So I think that the blockers are going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, this pink line here, this Renban line, is 5 cells long, so it must have 5 on it, because even if we start with 1, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we start with 9, it'll go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So it's definitely got 5 on it. But yeah, that's the German whispers line, isn't it? That's also a 5-cell German whispers line. But that could never have 5 on it. I mean, okay, let's just trot through quickly. How did Mark describe it the other day? Give the lecture on the German whispers tricks. So German whispers lines can never contain 5, and the reason for that is that the next digit to the 5, Mark did qualify it by saying it's a very short lecture. He's right about that. 5 here would mean this couldn't be filled, because it would need to be a digit that's at least 5 different from 5. And if we go up, we're at 10 or higher. That's not Sudoku numbers. If we go down, we get 0 or lower, and they're not Sudoku numbers. So no 5s on green lines. What that means is that each digit on a green line can be described in one of 2 ways. It will either be a digit that's below 5, or it will be a digit that's above 5. And the crucial thing to realise is that such digits will then oscillate along the line. So imagine this digit was a lower than 5 line, a lower than 5 number, sorry. Could this also be a lower than 5 number? No, because these could never be 5 apart. They'd only be 3 apart at maximum. So this would have to be a high digit, and then this would have to be a low digit again. So you get this oscillation. So those 3 are going to be of one polarity, and these two, so what colour are we going to choose? We'll use indigo. So those two are going to be of the other polarity. But you can see there's very few restrictions really. I mean, we've got two blockers that are of different polarities, which, okay, I can see that has a tiny effect on the Renban. I mean, it could have an enormous effect on the Renban if I knew what if one of these was a 4, for example, that would be enormously powerful. Because if you imagine one of the blockers was a 4, well, I mean, the only one that could be a 4 would be that one. Then if you can't put 4 on a 5-cell Renban, and you couldn't if it was in a blocker, that would have to be 5, 6, 7, 8. No, oh, hang on, that doesn't work, does it? Ah, no. Okay, so there is something going on. Right. How to describe this? Well, let's imagine that because the yellow and the indigo digits are from different polarities, so one of them is lower than 5, one of them is higher than 5, let's push them as far apart as we can, because that's going to put the smallest amount of pressure on the Renban. So if one of these was a 1 and one of these was a 9, then the Renban digits would be selected from the digits 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wouldn't they? And we'd need a consecutive sequence from those 7 digits. So in fact, even if these are as far apart as possible, 4, 5 and 6 have to go on the Renban now. Because even if these are as far apart as possible, you're only selecting the Renban digits from 7 digits, the digits 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So you're always going to have to include 4, 5 and 6, no matter if you start with 2 or you start with 8. But what I noticed is that you can't use a very middly digit in either of these diamonds. Imagine this was 4. The only way of filling the Renban then, because it couldn't have 4 on it, would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this digit was meant to be of opposite polarity to 4, i.e. a higher than 5 digit. So a 6, 7, 8 or 9, and it couldn't be any of those because those digits would be on the Renban. So this digit, I mean, this is going to be a dreadful pencil mark, but I'm going to make it and hope you can forgive me. This digit has to be not extreme. Now, if it was 3, would that have the same problem? If it was 3 and this was 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think that might be possible. But this digit here in the indigo, that also can't be 4 or 6, can it? For similar reason, but also there's a secondary reason, which if you were to put 6 or 4 in the middle of a 3-cell German whispers line, the 2 digits that flank that digit would only have one option, and we break Sudoku. If this is 4, this would be double 9. If this is 6, this would be double 1. So this digit is also, it's also 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, but from the opposite polarity to the yellow digit. And now I was wondering whether 7 and 1 would work there, with this being 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, maybe it does something with the Dutch whisper then. This is fascinating, actually. I don't know whether I'm meant to do Dutch whisper or am I meant to do these repeating. I'm not sure. The problem with Dutch whispers, though, I've given this the lecture about German whispers. The lecture about Dutch whispers is a very different lecture because the gap on a Dutch whisper line only being 4 really takes the pressure off the line. You can absolutely have a 5 on a Dutch whispers line because it can be flanked by 1 or 9. Those digits are 4 away from 5. So you can't really use the oscillation of polarity. Let's just think that through. If those were... If there was... Okay, let's do it this way. If there was no 5 on this Dutch whispers line, then it would be restricted. That might do something. Oh golly, that's very difficult to see. Hang on. I'm just thinking about this. I'm not sure that works, but that's complicated. Okay, so let's imagine there's no 5 on this Dutch whispers line. Then let's imagine, well, let's just colour this in. Let's colour that one in orange. So that's either going to be a below 5 digit or an above 5 digit. Now, but if we're saying there's no 5 on the line, this digit would have to be of the opposite polarity. This digit would then return to being orange. This digit would return to being opposite polarity. And now I've got an orange and a green digit of opposite polarities on the orange, well, along the orange line and in the diamonds. And that's going to put enormous pressure on the Renban. Why do I say that? Well, this has to be a 5-cell sequence. So I think if you did this, these diamonds would have to be from 1, 2, 8 and 9, and these diamonds would have to be from 1, 2, 8 and 9 in order that the Renban could contain the digits 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as a consecutive sequence. I hope that's clear, because if one of these is, let's imagine one of these was closer to the middle of the 9-cell sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 than 2. So let's make this a 3, just for the sake of exposition. Could it still work? I don't think so, because we know that this is going to be a higher than 5 digit, but it's got to be a higher than 5 digit that gives enough room between 3 and whatever it is to exist, for this line to exist. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would have to be 9, wouldn't it? But now these two digits couldn't involve 9 and couldn't involve 3. But we know one of them is a 7 or an 8 because it must be high. And that's going to stop us being able to create a 5-cell sequence here, because the diamond digits can't appear anywhere on this line. It's not just they can't repeat in the diamonds, they just can't repeat anywhere on that line. So this won't work. So if there is no 5 on this Dutch whispers line, this line's definitely 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are definitely from 1, 2, 8, 9. These are definitely from 1, 2, 8, 9. What does that mean? I haven't got a clue. Goodness me, I don't know. I mean, ooh. So hang on, if these were 1, 2, 8, 9, that blue line becomes almost impossible to fill, because it couldn't have 1, 2, 8 or 9 on it. So the minimum those would be a 3-4 pair. This would have to be a 7, because it couldn't be an 8 or a 9. We couldn't make it add up to more. But the blue line hasn't got any diamonds on it. Oh, so okay, so those two digits would have to be not 3, 4 or 7, so they'd have to be a 5, 6 pair. A 5, 6 pair, and these digits would be 3, 4, 7. Golly, it's getting very confusing, isn't it? This is fascinating, actually. It's really interesting. But alas, I don't feel I can do it. How would it... Hang on. If these were... Do you have a problem on the German whispers line? I don't think you do. Hang on, have I got a problem on the German? Oh, this is very challenging, actually. I'm not quite seeing this, but what's now going through my head is let me just label these diamonds up. If we don't have a 5 on the Dutch whisper, then I think what we're saying is that these digits are 1, 2, 8 and 9. Now, what that must mean is that these two digits are really under pressure. Are they broken? They might be broken. And sorry, I'm not being at all clear about why I think these are broken. Here is my question. I think they're broken. It's beautiful if this is right. The reason these two are broken is they clearly can't be this digit or this digit by Sudoku. So they're not those two. And they can't be these two digits because these two digits aren't allowed to repeat on any other line that's a different colour. So these two digits would not be able to be any of 1, 2, 8 and 9. So they would be 3, 4, 6 and 7. And look at these two. How far apart could they be pushed? They could be 3 and 7. Well, they aren't 5 apart. So that doesn't work. So this is huge. This is huge. Because what that means is... it means that this line doesn't oscillate polarity. Now, how do we stop it oscillating polarity? That's the next thing we're going to have to consider. So it can't oscillate polarity. So it must have a 5 on it. Why do I say it must have a 5 on it? Because a 5 allows us... how could we do this? We could have a 9... sorry, let me try and show you. If this was 9 and this was 5, we know it can't work if this diamond is different polarity to this digit, because we're going to have the problem that we've just articulated. I'm just restoring the 3 and the 7 here, but I'm wondering whether I'll be able to get rid of those permanently once we consider this line properly. But if this was, in order for this to be the same polarity as this diamond, you can see you could put 1 here, and now this digit is, well, it's 5 or higher. Because it's got to be 4 different, and it couldn't be 5 because we know there needs to be a 5 on this line. So it would be 6, 7, 8 or 9, but it can't be 6, it would be 7, 8 or 9. But I think it would be, it might even have to be 9. I'm not sure about that. But I feel like I'm... I feel like I think actually it might be something to do with these two digits in general. So how do we do this? Okay, I know these two have the same polarity. I am very happy to say that. The way they can have the same polarity is that 5 is not a diamond digit along this string, because 5 needs to appear on this Renban. So 5 is definitely in one of those two cells. 5 along a Dutch whisper can only go next to the digits 1 and 9. So that's the options for these digits here. And whichever one of let's say that was 5, this would be 1 or 9. And I'm just wondering if that has to be the same digit. Because these digits, let's just think this. Sorry, I know I'm being a bit dense here, but I'm trying to give myself enough flexibility on the various lines at the same time as explaining how this all works. And I can't quite see how it works, so I'm having to think it through on the fly. But I'm just wondering if these are different, but of the same polarity. Surely that's going to give me the most tremendous issues on this line. Because I know one of these is going to be a low digit, so it would have to be a 3 in this instance, wouldn't it? So if we had 1 and 2 here, one of these has to be a 3, because there is a low polarity digit. Neither can be a 4, because 4 definitely needs to appear on the Renban. So one of these would be a 3, which means this sequence would have to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that won't work. Oh, that's so complicated. Because now the other diamond here would need to not be 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. So it would need to be 9, wouldn't it? But it would be a diamonded 9. And yet, to change the polarity here, you're going to need a diamond. You're going to need a 9 on this, next to the 5, on this line. So actually, what we can now say is that I don't know what these digits are, but they are the same. They're either both 9 or they're both 1. And that's going to allow us to have enough flexibility on the other two lines together. And you have to consider them together, and you have to consider the diamonds together to make it work. Oh, there's a bird fight outside. So I don't know, do I? So I know a very extreme digit is knocked off. So imagine this was not 2 9s. Then 9 would not be in a diamond down here, but there would be an 8 or a 7 in a diamond. But that wouldn't work, right? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to claim, perhaps erroneously. Yeah, okay. So now 1, 5 and 9 have indisputably appeared on the Dutch whisper line, which means these diamonds are not allowed to be. They could never have been 5, but they can't be 1 or 9. Now, how could they not be 2 and 8? If they weren't 2 and 8, let's say they were 2 and 7. In theory, that looks possible by polarity, but of course it's not, is it? Because then this line, how do you make it a 5-cell sequence? If you can't put 2, 7, 1 or 9 on it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is a problem. You can't do it. These have to be kept as wide apart as possible. So they are 2 and 8. Now this line is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is really incredible. And 5 has appeared on this line, the Dutch Whispers line. So 5 is not in a diamond. So 5 is in one of 3 cells in box 1. 5 is in one of the same 2 rows, look, in box 3. So we can ask where 5 goes in the top row of the puzzle. It can't be in these 3. It can't be in these 3. It's in one of those 3. I thought that was Maverick taking off. It's not. It's just a lorry. No Maverick yet today. Right. But I haven't got the same issue here now. These two can't. No, oh, they see they could. Hang on, no, I'm wrong, aren't I? I'm right. I'm right with everything I've said, I believe, but I'm not. My brain was wrong about this domino. I was about to say, and I'm wrong, that because 1, 5, and 9 have appeared on the Dutch Whisper, these 2 digits can't include 1, 5, or 9, and that's not true because these are not diamonds, and the digit that's here, that's 1 or 9, is not a diamond because these are the same. Imagine these were both 9, then this is a 1, 5 pair. 1 could absolutely appear on here. That would be legitimate. But okay, but you can't make these a 1, 9 pair. That's certainly true. Yeah, okay. So these can't be a 1, 9 pair because one of the digits 1 and 9 is definitely diamonded on the funny line, on the Dutch Whisper line. So neither of these digits can be 2 or 8 because they see a 2, 8 pair. These are different, remember, and they are a 2, 8 pair. So these are not 2 or 8. Neither could be 4 or 6 because a 4 or a 6 in either of these positions would cause a big issue. 4 would only be able to be next to double 9. 6 would only be next to double 1. So one of these is 3 or 7. Now, and 3 or 7, 3 can only be next to 8 and 9. So imagine this was a 3, that would be 8, that would be 9. If this was 7, this would be 2, this would be 1. And if this was 3, that would be 8, 9. I mean, maybe I should pencil mark this actually. It's a little bit, is it excessive? No, it might not be. So I'm saying one of these digits is a 3 or a 7, and the other is a 1 or a 9, is what I'm saying. So no, that's not an excessive pencil mark. Because neither can be 2, 8, neither can be 4, 6, and obviously you can't put 5 on a whisper at all. Okay, and the digit that's 3 or 7 has to be on the Renban. Yeah, the digit that's 3 or 7 down here, which has to be on the Renban, can't be in the diamond of the Renban, because if it was in the diamond, it couldn't appear down here. By the rules of the puzzle, you can't put one of these diamonded digits on a different coloured line. So this digit that's a 3 or a 7 down here goes there. Can't go in the column, can't go in the diamond. It goes there. So that's not 5. So 5 now is in one of 2. It's in this domino in box 1. So if that was 3, this would be 8, 9, 2. This would be 3. Okay. I feel like this digit being repeated down here is somehow telling me something I'm meant to really appreciate. But what is it? It tells me these diamonds can't be a 3-7 pair. So at least one of these is 4 or 6. That's the world's worst deduction. Or is it to do with the horseshoe? I haven't really thought about these grey digits very much. And I know they're all the same. And those digits, okay, those digits now are not allowed to be diamonded digits. So these digits are 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, aren't they? Because we definitely know diamonded digits are 1, 9, 2, and 8. And we know, well, we don't know what those two are. They're going to be ruled out of these cells, but... And this digit, whatever it is on the horseshoe. Oh, okay, here's a subtle point which I will make. These little 2-cell Renban things, that's just a pair of consecutive digits. Now imagine this had been a 3. You might have thought that could be a 2, but actually it can't, because that's on a purple line, and 2 and 8 can only appear on green lines. So this digit is also from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the same is true there. And that's not it either, is it? This line, which I did notice this line would be under pressure earlier how did it work? It was under pressure if those cells were a 1, 2, 8, 9 quadruple, but they're not, because these green ones are the same digit. I mean, it's still true to say, I suppose. Imagine that the green digit here, let me just label it for a moment because it's easier. Imagine this digit A was 1, then 2 as well couldn't appear in these cells. So this would be at least, well, it couldn't be 3, 4 then. Because if this was 3, 4, 7, both of those diamonds would have to be 6. Because because purple is not the same colour as blue. Hang on, that didn't... So am I saying that didn't work? So what I'm saying is, if these are 1s, these 2 digits... Oh, that's interesting. Hang on, that is interesting. So what I'm now claiming is if A is 1, because this domino can't include 1 and can't include 2, these 2 digits here are... How to describe them? They're not able to be 3 and 4, adding up to 7, because that breaks this. So that means this total is a 9, because it must be more than 7. The only way to keep it down to 7 is with a 3-4 pair, which would break these two. If this is 3, 4, 7, both of those would be 6, because these diamonds... Well, no, actually, that's not true. They wouldn't both be 6, but there wouldn't be enough difference. If this is 3, 4, and 7, yeah, no, they would both be 6. They would both be 6, sorry. They couldn't, because there is a total mismatch between the diamond digits in this box. So the only way to keep this down, this can't be 8 because of the German whispers line. So this would be some domino of digits adding up to a 9 here. So this line either has 1 on it then, which would be available if these were 9. Oh, no, it wouldn't be available. Hang on, does this line never have... Maybe this is always 9. That might be wrong. But this line here is, I think, where something is going on. Because what I've noticed already is if A is 1, then this is 9. That is something I have noticed. But if A is 9, the interesting thing then is, and it is interesting, don't mock me, is that 1 is in one of these two cells, isn't it? Next to the 5, in order that we get the change of the polarity. So this domino still doesn't have 1 on it, which means that this is always 9. Because either A is 9, and if A is 9, 1 is locked off this, which means again it's at least 3, 4, but it can't be 3, 4 because then this would be 3, 4, 7 and break the diamonds here. So it has to add up to more. So if this is 9, this has to add up to more than 7, which means this can't, and it can't be 8, so this would have to be 9 again. And that just doesn't work, in fact. So if this is 9, it just doesn't work. But another way of seeing that is to say that 1 can never be in this domino. Because if 1 is in this domino, then these are both 1. Let me just double check. Hang on. Or am I saying 1 has to be in this domino? I'm certainly saying I've proved that if these are 1s, what have I proved? Am I going crazy? If these are 1s, this is 9. That's one thing I proved. And if these are 9s, then this is 9, which can't work. So this is 1, which means these digits are 5 and 9. But now, oh, and that's going to be fine, because what we're saying is this is 9, aren't we? Because it can, but now I can't put 1 or 2 on this domino. It can't be 3, 4, because that's going to break here. So it adds up to more than 7. It can't add up to 8, so it does add up to 9. At least that option has a way out, if you like. That's the way to describe it. It's possible to do it. Now, this domino doesn't have 1 or 2 on it. It's a blue line. It doesn't have 5 on it, yet it's meant to add up to 9, so it's got to be a 3, 6 pair. Now that... I thought that was definitely going to do something. Oh, no. Yeah, no, that actually does do something. Oh, this is superb. This is splendid, Melchard. Because if that's 3, 6 on a blue line, these can't be 3, 6 in the diamonds of the purple line. That's a 4, 7 pair. This is a 3. These two digits are 5, 6 pair, is what they are, to make sure this is a consecutive set. If this is 3, that was the digit, wasn't it, that was in this pair. So it's not 7 here, it's a 3. It's a 3 with a 9. And you'd think that would resolve it. So you'd think that would be very clear. But I think they could be either way round. It could be 3 here with 8, 9, or it could be 3 here with 8, 9. Oh dear. Oh, okay, but the 3 here, at least it resolves that order. That resolves that ordering. These digits are a 3, 5, 6 triple now by Sudoku. Where are 3, 5 and 6 in row 1? They have to be there. The 5 does work. That's 5. That's 9. So this line, yes, it does. It works beautifully. It works beautifully, so that's a good thing. 4 and 7 are not allowed to be on blue lines. So these digits are not 4 and 7. These are different from one another because they're on a Renban. So that does make sense. So these are 3, 5s and 6s. And they're all the same. And I'm not sure what that means. What do you think we do next? I don't know. 9 is in one of those three. So 9 is in one of those three in box 1. Is it? No, it's not. I wondered if it was 1 in box 3. Wow. Isn't it incredible that even after all of these deductions, I am still clueless about what this means next? Oh, I'm so sorry. What a wally. I don't know what to do. Could we... I'm wondering whether I somehow know the ordering of this. That would at least give me a bit more to play with. Or maybe I somehow know what this blue digit is. Or that's just not clear, is it? I don't think it is clear. I mean, I could well be wrong, but I don't think it is. And what are the options for this yellow digit then? The problem is I don't know if it's high or low. If does it have to be that one? I don't think it does, because I think it could be 9. 9 has not been diamonded, so I think that could be 9. Maybe. No, maybe it couldn't actually, because maybe that in that panoply of the world, this is a 9. Maybe this digit is under pressure. I'm just not thinking it through clearly. So let's imagine this is 8. Then we know this is a low digit, and if this is 8, this is 3. So it's a 1 or a 2, and it couldn't be a 1. So this would be a 2 if this is 8. And it would be the same as that digit, actually. That would go 2, 3, 2. Now, but what if this is 2? If this is 2, this has to be a high digit, which is at least 7. And why couldn't it be 7? Well, it couldn't be 7, because 7's appeared on that line, and that's a different colour. It could be 8, in which case it would be the same as this digit. Now, could it be 9? No, because in that variation where this is 2, this is 9, so this is 2 or 8. I think it's the same. These two are the same digit. So that gives me a 2-8 pair in row 8. How does that help? So, oh goodness, I'm very confused by this. It's not Sudoku or something, is it? It could be. Oh, it's going to be Sudoku, isn't it? This green line. Oh, wait. Yes, that's it. That is it. What is the low digit on this green line? It's got to have a low digit on it. Now that low digit can't be a 1, which has been diamonded on an orange line. So it's not 1, it's not 3. It can't be 4, because 4 could only be next to 9, and that would clash. So it is 2. There's a 2 on there with a 7. No, not with a 7, because 7's been diamonded on the Renban. It's a 2-8 pair, that's what it is. I mean, that's hard to see, but it's true. So the column 9 might be where we're meant to look. 1, 4, 5, 7. So we've got a snooker maximum in the top right-hand corner, because it can't be 5. 1, 4, 5, 7. So 4, 5, 7 here. 1, 4, 5, 7 here. But remember, these two have to be kept sufficiently apart to qualify on the Dutch Whispers line. And they can't be 7. That's a... hang on, there's a 1-5 pair, isn't it? I didn't see it, but there we go. This is a 1-5 pair. 7 is not... 7. In fact, that's the simplest way to see it. 7 and 4 are just not allowed on Dutch Whispers lines. So this is a 1-5 pair. By that, I was trying to do it by the difference. So this is a 4-7 pair. And if this is 1-5, do we know the order? No. I don't think we do. If this was 5, this would have to be a 9, which would be really useful. It could be a 9, couldn't it? There is a 9 in one of those 3. But I don't think we know. I don't think we know enough about that. But if this was a 1, then this would be a 6. It couldn't be a 6. The reason it couldn't be a 6 is 6 would force this to be 2, and 2's not allowed on orange lines. So actually, let's think this through. Let's think this through properly. So if this is 5, this is 9. If this is 1, this can't be 5 because 5's in this domino. It can't be 6 because that makes this a 2, and that breaks with the diamonded here. It can't be 7, which is one of the digits on the Renban line. It can't be 8. Oh, goodness me. This is always 9. This is always 9. Which weirdly doesn't tell me what this digit is. But it's only got the ability to be 9. That's great though. Because now that gives me the polarity of this, which means this is 2. Which means this is 2. This is 8. And that... You think that, oh, it does do something. It does this 2-8 pair up here. So 2 is restricted in box 7. This digit has to be low on the Dutch Whisper. It can't be 1 or 2. So it's 3 or 4. It can't be 4, which isn't allowed. So that's got to be a 3. Which means one of those is a 3. That's getting interesting, isn't it? One of these is a 3. That's also interesting. One of these is also a 5. That's very interesting by Sudoku. Because what I do know is that 3 and 5 are not consecutive digits. So that is not a 3-5 pair. Which means this digit is 3 or 5. And one of these is 3 or 5. It has to be consecutive with something. 3 and 5 are odd numbers. So there's an even digit which is 6 or 4. Oh, this must be resolved somehow. It's not 7. That can't be 7 because this would be 6. And Sudoku wouldn't work. So it could be 6. Oh, we could have the devil making appearance. That could be 666. That might be okay. I don't know. Wow. I don't know. Can we do... Maybe we can do... No, I don't see how to do that. 9 is nearly on this little Dutch whispery thing. If... Oh dear, I don't see how to do this. 2 in this box is placed. Oh, that's been available forever. I didn't see it at all. So 2 is in one of these 2 cells in box 3. Now, what does that mean? Oh, hang on, I know something. The grey digit, this grey digit is on this thingy, this horseshoe. So it's not 6 anymore. I can't put 6 on that horseshoe. So this is an odd digit. So this is an even digit across its Renban. This is a 3-5 pair. This is a 3. Oh, there's 3-5 pairs a go-go here. 3-5. So this digit is 4, 6, or 7 by Sudoku in this box. I don't think we know which. This is 3 or 5, so this is even, and it's not 2. So this is 4 or 6. These can't. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's absolutely magnificent. That is magnificent. Right. So what I immediately see here is look at these two cells. Ask whether they could be the same. If they're the same digit, where are you putting that digit in this box? It would have to be on the horseshoe. And it's not allowed to be. 4 and 6 are not options. So these are different. But if they're different, remember these grey digits are the same digit. And we need a digit that is consecutive with both 4 and 6. So these are 5. Isn't that beautiful? So this is 3. That is 3. I'm sure this is... Oh, this is a 5 now by Sudoku. Aha, that's 3, that's 6. So 3 is almost getting pushed onto this Dutch whispery line. But okay, the 5s are grey digits, so let's put those in as far as we're able to, in the hope that it takes us a bit further along the path to a solution. These are different. Actually, I'll label them. I'll make one of them red and one of them lime. So this can't be 4 or 6 now. And that might matter for some weird reason. I mean, is it... Actually, what can this be? Let's just ask that question. Just from a purely Sudoku perspective. It can't be 1. It can't be 2. It could be 3, apparently. It can't be 4 or 6. It can't be 5. So it can't be 7, which is on a pink line. It can't be 8, which is on a whispers line. So can it be 9? No, it can't. That is naked. That is a naked old single. Naughty naked single. Okay, so now I get a 3 here by Sudoku. How many 3s have I got? I've got all the 3s. Maybe that was a simpler way to do it. Maybe I could have done it by Sudoku. This now has to be... Well, what? It's 9. It's the only thing it can be. Because it's got to be at least 4 different from 3. It can't be 7, which is on a pink or purple line, or a pinkle line if you prefer, and it can't be 8, which is on a green line. So that is 9. That might do something, or not, as the case may be. No, it takes 9 out of that cell. And this digit has to be also 7, 8. Oh, is that the same then? Is that also 9? Well, it can't be 8 and it can't be 7. Yeah, that's the same. That's the same logic. So these are both 9, which places 9 in the middle box, which means 9 now gets plonked on this Dutch whisper at the bottom. So this digit is 1 or 4, and oh no, it can be 1, can't it? It can't be 4 though, because 4's on the pinkle line. So that's 1, that's 1, that's 5. 1 goes into one of those cells. We can amend our greyification of the grid and place 5, look, in box 7 and in box 4. And that's lovely. That's all your 5s belong to us. This is a very reasonable question. 1 in box 1. Well, I was going to say 1 in column 4, but that's actually placed. 1 in column 2 is available as well. I hadn't seen that. 9 in box 1, apparently by Sudoku. I never gave 9s a colour, did I? I probably ought to have done that. Okay, so which have I used all the clues now? That would be shocking. Yeah, where's 8 in column 2? It's got to be here. So there's a 2-8 domino now in box 5, which means the other digits here are 4, 6, 7. That must be resolved somehow, mustn't it? There's a 4-7 pair in row 5, so we can place a 6. This digit is 4, 6 or 7 by Sudoku. This column needs 4 and 7. That digit has to go there, doesn't it? In box thingy. Oh, it doesn't tell us what it is. It could go in either position up here. Lime green has to go in one of those. So this digit is not 4 or 6. So this digit is 7 or 8 by Sudoku. Oh, and there's a 4, 6 pair in this row now. I had not seen that. So 1s, 7s. Oh, where's 8? Where's 8 in row 7? It's got to go here. So there's an 8 in one of these two cells. This is a 1-7 pair in row 7. And that looks useful because that's going to give me a 4 here, look. Which makes this a 7. That a 4 communicating through the Pinkel line. This is not a 7. This 4 is going to do magic. Yes, that's lime green now. So that's 4. That's 4. There's a 6 in one of these along with what looks like to be a 7, I think. So 6, 7. 1, oh, there's a 1-2 pair in column 7, which is resolved. That might have been resolved for a while, but I didn't see it. How many 1s have I put in the grid? Several, but not enough. 4 has to be there, which means this is 7, this is 6. These digits here are a 7-8 pair. I mean, that's fine, and I'm delighted about that. But, oh, there was 8 in the top row. It's got to go there. So 8, 7 get placed. So this is a 7, that's a 7, that's a 1, that's a 1. 2, 4, 8. Into where is no bother. There's a 2, 4, 8 triple. How long has this taken me? Just over an hour. I mean, that has flown past for me. You're all probably sitting there going, no, it's taken a very long time. Bad Simon. Naughty Simon. Simon's brain poor. I didn't mean for it to be poor. But I think I am slowly but steadily, famous last words, where's 8 in this box has been available forever. So 8, 7... 2-8 pair here, so in this column what do we need? This has got to be a 4 or a 7. It looks right, doesn't it? That gives me a 4-7 pair here, so that's 6, that's 7. These two digits are 2 and 6. I feel like that must be resolved. What's this digit? 4 or 6? Oh, 4 or 6, really? Looks right, doesn't it? So that's going to be a 4. 4, 6, 6, 2, 2, 8, 4. 8, 2, 8, 2, 4, 7, 7, 4. Get rid of that. Make sure that 6s, wherever they occur, are lime green. 4s, wherever they occur, are red. 1s, wherever they occur, can be dark green. Oh, and my colouring here has become rather otiose. That is, yes, that is a spectacular puzzle. Oh, not many people solved this, actually, only 12. Good grief. Well, actually, I'm not staggered by that. I'm staggered because Fenners is a very popular constructor, but I will say I found that much harder than I was anticipating. The logic in it is very unusual, really unusual, to me at least. These, what are they called? Blockers. It's a really very it's a brilliant idea for a rule, and it's not easy for me, at least, to work with. The way that they interacted around those lines in particular, and even the blue line here, it was fascinating, wasn't it? Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and do come and visit us for the Blueprint stream in a few minutes too. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Oh, just noticed that needs to be fully green. Bye for now.